Hi, I wanted to do a video on my latest DH Gate purchase. This is the Artsy MM, the Louis Vuitton Artsy MM bag. I got this in black. The color on the Louis Vuitton website is Noir. They have 3 colors currently available. The black, they have a marine rouge, which is like a navy blue with some red accent, and something called, I think it's called beige rose, which is like a pink. The color actually doesn't look really good online, but I've not seen that one in person. I did see the marine rouge in the Louis Vuitton store. I'm not a navy blue fan, so I didn't like it. But I decided to purchase this one from DH Gate. I actually have this one already that I got from a purse guy who sells replicas in the Akron, Ohio area. I pretty much fell in love with this bag when I saw it in his, where he sells the bags, and I purchased it. This one was $60. Whenever I looked online, I did see that this color actually was manufactured by Louis Vuitton at one point in time. It's currently not available, but I have seen a couple on eBay. I found one recently on Poshmark. I'm trying to get on there now. I can't remember exactly how much she's asking for it, but this color was called, oh, what was it called? I can't think of it right now, but oh, Havane or Havane, Havane. And I'm sorry, the one that's on Poshmark, I think she's asking for about $1,800 for it used. As of January 2020, or well, it's now February 2020, it is selling for $3,200 on the Louis Vuitton website. The one on Poshmark, she's currently asking $1,700, and again, this is the Louis Vuitton empreinte leather Artsy MM bag, and I'm trying to scroll quickly and see if I can find when hers was manufactured to see when this color was out, but I guess it's not that important. Anyhow, I really do like this purse. It's absolutely huge. Now, I will tell you, it's pretty much stuffed with all my junk, but the inside is not like the Louis Vuitton original, but I actually kind of like it better. It's got the Louis Vuitton print on the inside. The original has almost like a plaid or striped pattern, and I don't know, I think that for the luxury brand, they could come up with something a little bit nicer. I think this one's got really good quality. I like the braiding of the strap. The gold hardware, this is branded. This is branded. This says Louis Vuitton. I will bring out the key fob. I actually have some keys on it right now. The reason that I put that inside was 2 things. When you have it out as a bag charm, first of all, when you're walking, this kind of goes back and forth, and it's a little bit annoying. And the second thing is that this was the only real dud giveaway that I found on this bag that made it not look like the original, is this piece right here. It's more of like a circular, and this hardware right here is not as long on the original. It's more like a rounded square, but this does, or like a rounded piece, but this does say Louis Vuitton here. I think on the original it says it here too, but I mean, nobody's going to look at that, and actually I just decided to put it in the bag, 1, because it is not the same as the authentic, and 2, just because it was getting annoying when I was like walking anywhere, it would just kind of flap against the bag. So the sides are very similar to the original, and the bottom is as well. The original has these like X mark and the 4 feet, and this bag does as well. So I'm very pleased with this one. I think I mentioned it. If not, I paid $60 for this one in person, and that's pretty much the review on this. So when I saw this on Poshmark, or I'm sorry, when I saw this on DH Gate, it was only $30, and I honestly just, for the hell of it, was like, I have to see what a $30 Artsy will look like. So when I first got it, to be honest with you, I was not really pleased with it. I thought about asking for a refund, but then I just decided that it wasn't worth it, because when I look at these 2 bags side by side, I can see obvious differences. However, if I were to just take this bag by itself, I'm not sure that they would really stand out. I will say that this bag had a really funky odor, And I've used some white vinegar on it. I've used some essential oils on it. And I've also sprayed it with Lysol. And I'm just going to air it out a couple more days. So it kind of had like an iron, like a blood type smell to it, which was kind of bizarre. But I don't know what it was. It just stunk when I got it. This, you can see the gold hardware is a lot smaller than this one, and I actually have taken this one into the Louis Vuitton store, and it matches up pretty well with the size. But this, you can see the hardware is a lot smaller. The handle was really stiff when I got it. Apparently that is the case with the Louis Vuitton as well, and it takes a while for it to drop. What I did was I put like a really heavy library or a really heavy book that I have in here, and I just hung it on a doorknob for a day or two just to kind of get it to drop so that it would be a little bit more comfortable to wear. And that actually worked very well. I also stuffed it with some paper and it kind of expanded it. You can see that the interior of this one also is nothing like the original. It's also got the LV design. It does not have the 6 pockets that the original does. This one does have a zippered pocket, but the zipper kind of was stuck at first. I'll probably have to get some WD-40 if I'm going to use that and make sure that I lubricate the zipper there. And then it does have a clasp. I don't know. It doesn't say Louis Vuitton on it. No, it does not. But it does have a button to close, where this one actually has a zipper, but I just never close it. I'm not sure if the original might actually have this, like the clasp. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a zipper. Anyway, the hardware does not say Louis Vuitton on these. It does say it on these small, I forget what those are called. It does say it on here, but like I mentioned, they're a lot smaller. This was one of the really disappointing things about this bag, is you can see how incredibly tiny the key fob or bag charm or whatever you want to call it is. I'll try to get these next to each other. So here's the one that's close to the original, and then here's the one that came from the DH Gate. So obviously if somebody is familiar with the bag, as you can see, this kind of has the more rounded one that I mentioned, where mine was a little bit longer and more squared off. But this is really, really tiny. It's a very flimsy charm. But as I mentioned, when you're walking, this kind of flaps up against the bag. So to remedy that and to hide it, I'm just going to put that inside the bag. The other dead giveaway on this one, and part of the reason I was really displeased when I first got it, is the bottom is kind of poor quality. So it has the LVs on the bottom, but they are going sideways. And then it has this huge patch, that does have the 4 feet that say Louis Vuitton, and the X across it, but this entire bottom is blank. So I was really disappointed at first, but I mean, it is a $30 bag, and I was like, well, the more I thought about it, as the bag dropped and doesn't sit so high up, I was like, I don't think anybody is really going to notice the bottom of the bag, and I really don't think that anybody would know possibly anyway. I've never seen anyone carry one of these. I've only seen them in the Louis Vuitton store that is close to me, and then in the Dillard store that's at the same mall, they have a vintage Louis Vuitton section, and they did have one that was similar to this color. It was a darker brown. I think it was called taupe, and this one, like I mentioned, is like a more medium brown, and it was Havane or Havane. Let me see, the sides, when I got it too, the sides were a little bit I don't know, wrinkled or contorted. I guess some of that was from the shipping. This is what it shipped in. It came with this bubble wrap, and I think there was a dust bag with it, but it was a pretty generic one. And then this was the outside wrapping. So, you know, pretty, I mean, decent packaging, but it came and it was pretty creased. One of the other things I did is I read online, and actually, let's see, I'm sure I can find it. Here you can kind of see that there's this big crease. So I did read online that you can sort of use either a steamer or a hair dryer, and actually, you can still obviously see the crease, but it's come out significantly from when I got it. And my bag actually has it too, and I've kind of been working on this one. I've probably had this bag for like 6 months now, so it's really broken in. But that crease never really went away, even though I would put like heavy books and stuff like that to kind of try to iron it out. But the hair dryer seems to be working. So all in all, this was a $30 purse. I think for $30, you honestly can't beat it. It's a nice size bag, okay? It's black, it's classic. I think it hangs nicely. It is a little bit high, obviously. This is not a really deep drop. for any of the bags, the originals included. And actually, that's one of the things that people that bought the artsy weren't real crazy about, is that it really doesn't have a long handle. And the bag obviously can get heavy because it's so large, but this would make for like a nice weekend bag. And for 30 bucks, I guess overall, I am pretty pleased with it. I think the sides look good. This has kind of come out since I've been ironing it, and it's really just the bottom. That was the only thing. I will tell you that it took me almost 2 months to get this bag. It did get held up in Chinese customs, and they had to send me a replacement bag, and that one just arrived a few weeks ago, but it was almost 8 weeks total to get it. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.